Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastav, and with me is Anita Anand, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring to you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment, and more. The headlines. Indian Prime Minister and President extend New Year greetings to the nation, wishing everyone a blessed and wonderful year ahead. India mandates RT-PCR tests for travellers from China and 5 other countries from Sunday. India to host first G20 meeting of the year from 9 to 11th Jan in Kolkata. United Nations General Assembly looks ahead for the International Court of Justice's opinion on Israel-Palestine issue. Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva sworn in as Brazil's next Prime Minister. Climate activist Marina Silva to head the Environment and Climate Ministry. Croatia becomes the 27th nation to switch to Schengen zone and the 20th member of Eurozone. Hong Kong to resume quarantine-free travels to China from January the 8th this year to bolster tourism finance. And South American nations Venezuela and Colombia reopen cross-border movements from the 1st of January 2023. President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted people on the occasion of New Year 2023. In a message, President hoped that the new year will bring new happiness, goals, inspirations and greater achievements in everyone's lives. President Murmu urged people to rededicate themselves to the unity, integrity and inclusive development of the nation. She wished for the progress and prosperity of the glorious nation and the people in the 2023 year. In a tweet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said this new year may be filled with hope, happiness and lots of success for everyone. He said, may everyone be blessed with wonderful health. The Government of India plans to provide food grains to states under the National Food Security Act NFSA free for 1 year from Sunday. In the last week of December 2022, the Cabinet had decided to provide grains under NFSA free of cost to 81 crore beneficiaries during the year 2023. The scheme will also ensure effective and uniform implementation of the Act. Free food grains will concurrently ensure uniform implementation of portability under One Nation, One Ration card across the nation. According to the Indian Ministry of Consumer Affairs, the Indian government has a social and legal commitment to the people of the nation, a dignified life by ensuring them access to food and nutritional security through the availability of adequate quantity of quality food grains. Under the scheme, central government will provide free food grains to all NFSA beneficiaries, including Antyodaya Anna Yojana households and priority household persons. The food grains will be provided through the widespread network of over 5 lakh fair price shops across the country. The central government will bear the food subsidy of more than 2 lakh crore rupees in 1 year.
The UN General Assembly has asked the UN's highest court to give a legal opinion on Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories. The International Court of Justice, ICJ, issues binding rulings, but it cannot enforce them. The draft resolution, Israeli practices affecting the human rights of the Palestinian people in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, was adopted by a recorded vote on Friday with 87 votes in favor, 26 against and 53 abstentions, including by India. Friday's vote came a day after Benjamin Netanyahu was sworn in as Prime Minister of the most hardline Israeli cabinet. The resolution asked the Hague-based top UN court as to how to do the policies and practices of Israel, affect the legal status of the occupation and what the legal consequences were that arise for all states and the United Nations from this status. Israel occupies the West Bank, and although it pulled out of Gaza, the UN still regards that piece of land as occupied territory. Israel claims the whole of Jerusalem as its capital, while the Palestinians claim East Jerusalem as the capital of a future Palestinian state. Palestinian officials hailed the UN vote as a victory. Nabil Abu Rudene said it was time for Israel to be held accountable for its ongoing crimes against our people. Israel's new Prime Minister, for his part, described it as despicable. Leftist leader Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva will be sworn in as President of Brazil on Sunday under tightened security in the Brazilian capital, following threats of violence by supporters of his far-right predecessor Jair Bolsonaro. Lula, 77, narrowly defeated Bolsonaro in October to win an unprecedented third presidential term after a hiatus that saw him spend a year and a half behind the bars on corruption convictions that were later overturned. In his previous years as Workers' Party PT president from 2003 to 2010, the former union leader lifted millions of Brazilians from poverty during a commodity boom that boosted the economy. Now he faces the daunting challenge of improving Brazil's stagnant economy while also uniting the country. Earlier, Bolsonaro left Brazil for Florida on Friday, avoiding having to hand over the sash to his rival, whose victory he has yet to recognize. His supporters have protested for 2 months that the election was stolen and called for a military coup to stop Lula returning to office in a climate of vandalism and violence. In today's Hotspot section, we bring you a news commentary, India's self-reliance in the defense sector.
The Government of India has taken several policy initiatives in the past few years and brought in reforms to encourage indigenous design, development and manufacture of defence equipment, thereby promoting Atmanirbharta or self-reliance in defence manufacturing and technology in the country. These initiatives include priority to procurement of capital items of Buy Indian category from domestic sources under Defence Acquisition Procedure DAP 2020, notification of 4 positive indigenization lists of total 411 items of services and 3 positive indigenization lists of total 3,738 items of defence public sector undertakings DPSUs, for which there would be an embargo on the import beyond the timelines indicated against them, simplification of industrial licensing process with longer validity period, liberalization of foreign direct investment FDI policy, allowing 74% FDI under automatic route. According to the Indian Defence Ministry, our defence industry is now capable of manufacturing wide variety of high-end requirements, example tanks, armoured vehicles, fighter aircrafts, helicopters, warships, submarines, missiles, electronic equipment, special alloys, special purpose steels and variety of ammunition. Rapid progress has been made towards achieving complete Atmanirbharta in the manufacturing of defence equipment required by our armed forces within the country. As a result of these initiatives, many state-of-the-art products including 155 mm artillery gun system Dhanush, light combat aircraft Tejas, surface-to-air missile system Akash, main battle tank Arjun, T-90 tank, T-72 tank, armoured personal carrier BMP-2 or 2K, Su-30 Mk-1, Cheetah helicopter, advanced light helicopter, Dornier Do-228, high mobility trucks, INS Kalvari, INS Khanderi, INS Chennai, anti-submarine warfare corvette, ASWC, Arjun armoured repair and recovery vehicle, bridge laying tank, bi-modular charge system or BMCS for 155 mm ammunition, medium bulletproof vehicle or MBPV, weapon locating radar WLR, integrated air command and control system IACCS, software defined radios SDR, Lakshya parachute for pilotless target aircraft, optoelectronic sights for battle tanks, water jet fast attack craft, inshore patrol vessel, offshore patrol vessel, fast interceptor boat, landing craft utility, 25 T tugs, etc. have been produced in the country during the last few years. For the first time, a made-in-India Advanced Towed Artillery Gun or ATAG howitzer gun developed by the domestic industry was part of the 21 gun salute during the Independence Day celebration at Red Fort in Delhi. An innovation ecosystem for defence titled Innovations for Defence Excellence or IDEX was launched in April 2018 to foster innovation and technology development in defence and aerospace by engaging industries including MSMEs, startups, individual innovators, R&D institutes and academia. IDEX provides them grants or funding and other support to carry out innovations or R&D which has potential for future adoption for Indian defence and aerospace needs. Under IDEX, 233 problems have been opened, 310 startups have been engaged, 140 contracts have been signed. IDEX Prime framework under IDEX has been launched in 2022 to support startups with grant in aid up to Rs 10 crore to enable the development of high-end solutions. Till October 2022, a total of 595 industrial licenses have been issued to 366 companies operating in defence sector. Government has also established 2 defence industrial corridors, one each in Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, to attract investments in aerospace and defence sector and established a comprehensive defence manufacturing ecosystem in the country. Moreover, the respective state governments have also published their aerospace and defence policies to attract private players as well as foreign companies, including original equipment manufacturers or OEMs in these 2 corridors. The 2 state governments have already signed MOUs or agreements with various industries for investment worth total value of about Rs 24,000 crore. Investments worth Rs 2,242 crore and Rs 3,847 crore have been made in Uttar Pradesh Defence Industrial Corridor or UPDIC and Tamil Nadu Defence Industrial Corridor or TNDIC respectively. The government in the last 3 years, that is from 2019-20 to 2021-22 and current year 2022-23 up to September 2022 has accorded acceptance of necessity or AON to 163 proposals worth Rs 2,46,989.38 crores approximately under various categories of capital procurement which promote domestic manufacturing as per DAP 2020. The share of domestic procurement in the total procurement has been on an uptrend. In 2018-19, the domestic procurement stood at 54% of the total procurement. This figure jumped to 68% in 2022. 25% of the defence budget has also been earmarked for procurement from private industry. With focus of government on indigenization and procurement of defence products from the domestic resources, the expenditure on defence procurement from foreign sources has reduced to 36% in 2021-22.
G20 India 2023. One Earth, one family, one future.
As the world ushers in the new year, the year 2023 becomes crucial for India since India assumed the G20 presidency on the 1st of December 2022. Around 200 meetings had been planned and so far some 20 meetings in both finance and Sherpa track took place at various locations in India. Here is a quick look at the calendar of events for G20 under India's presidency in the year 2023, which culminates with the summit to be held in New Delhi in the month of September 2023. Meetings under finance track. The first meeting for the Global Partnership for Financial Inclusion will be held in Kolkata from the 9th to 11th of January 2023. The first Infrastructure Working Group meeting is scheduled at Pune from the 16th to the 17th of January 2023. First International Financial Architecture Group meeting to be held at Chandigarh from the 30th to 31st of January 2023. First Sustainable Finance Working Group meeting will take place at Guwahati from the 2nd to the 3rd of February 2023. Second Finance and Central Bank Deputies meeting is scheduled at Bengaluru from 21st to 22nd February 2023. First Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors meeting to be held at Bengaluru from 23rd to 25th of February 2023. Meetings under Sherpa Track. First Health Working Group meeting is scheduled at Thiruvananthapuram from 18th to 28th Jan 2023. First Education Working Group meeting will be held at Chennai from the 31st Jan to the 2nd of February 2023. First Employment Working Group meeting to be held at Jodhpur from 2nd to the 4th of February 2023. First Energy Working Group meeting is scheduled at Bengaluru from the 5th to the 7th of February 2023. First Tourism Group meeting will take place at the Run of Kutch from the 8th to the 10th of February 2023. First Environment and Climate Group meeting to be held at Bengaluru from the 8th to the 10th of February 2023. First DEWG to be held at Lucknow from the 13th to the 15th of February 2023. First Agricultural Working Group meeting to take place at Indore from 13th to 15th February 2023. First Cultural Working Group meeting will be held at Khajuraho from the 23rd to the 25th of February 2023. A few side events are scheduled alongside the main events. A seminar on digital inclusion and excursion in Lucknow on the 13th of February 2023. An event and excursion of First Culture Working Group on the 25th of February 2023.
G20 India 2023. One Earth, one family, one future.
The Government of India has said that RT-PCR test has been made mandatory for flights coming from China, Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, Singapore and Thailand from Sunday onwards. The passengers have to upload their reports on the Air Suvidha portal before travel. The Health Ministry of India said the test should have been conducted within 72 hours of undertaking the journey to India. This requirement is in addition to the random 2% of tests of all international passengers on all incoming international flights on their arrival to India. The ministry said this is being done in view of the evolving COVID-19 situation across the world. Venezuela and Colombia will fully reopen their shared borders on Sunday to allow passage of cargo and passenger transport via the cross-border Tienditas Bridge, Colombia Migration said in a statement on Saturday. The South American countries already reopened in September their borders crossing in Táchira state in western Venezuela after political ties strengthened under Colombia's new president Gustavo Petro. Petro and his Venezuelan counterpart Nicolás Maduro appointed ambassadors in Caracas and Bogota respectively. Colombian authorities have said since September that the reopening of the shared 2,200 kilometers border between the two countries would be progressive.
Croatia switched to the euro and entered Europe's passport-free zone, two important milestones for the country after joining the European Union (EU) nearly a decade ago. At midnight on Sunday, the Balkan nation bid farewell to its kuna currency and became the 20th member of the eurozone. It has now become the 27th nation in the Schengen zone, the world's largest passport-free travel area, which enables more than 400 million people to move freely around its members. Experts say that the adoption of the euro will help shield Croatia's economy at a time when inflation is soaring worldwide after Russia's invasion of Ukraine sent food and food prices through the roof. Cities across the globe welcome 2023 with fireworks and light displays. The Pacific nation of Kiribati was the first country to greet the New Year, followed by Auckland and New Zealand, where people celebrated the arrival of the New Year with fireworks launched from the city's Sky Tower. Sydney put on a spectacular display as ever with fireworks launched from its Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. Fireworks exploded over Victoria Harbour to celebrate the New Year in Hong Kong. Cheerful crowds released balloons in Tokyo, Japan to the first strikes of the New Year, as people in Seoul prayed and lit up the sky with their phones as they bid farewell to a painful year. Russia and Ukraine have marked the start of 2023 with Putin raising a glass surrounded by soldiers and Zelensky thanking Ukrainians for the war effort. The UAE attempted to break 2 Guinness World Records by featuring 452 pyro drones and 15,000 nanolights, colors and shapes in their firework display in Abu Dhabi. Dubai's Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, saw a stunning fireworks display to welcome 2023. Mosul and Baghdad saw spectacular fireworks displays to welcome the arrival of 2023. Reports of reveling fireworks exploding over Cairo. Singapore welcomed the new year with a dazzling firework display outside the iconic Marina Bay Hotel. People celebrated New Year in Taiwan as fireworks lit up the skyline from Taipei 101 building. Fireworks also lit the sky over the Chao Phraya River in Bangkok, Thailand, as the clock struck midnight. The president of Taiwan, Tsai Ing-wen, used her New Year address to offer help to China to combat the recent surge in COVID cases. In London, there was a drone display as part of a tribute to the late Queen Elizabeth, while in Edinburgh, thousands enjoyed the first full Hogmanay celebrations in 3 years. There was also a tribute to Ukraine, with the London Eye lit up in blue and yellow, the colours of the Ukrainian flag. Croatia started 2023 with a new currency, joining the Eurozone and also joined the Schengen zone, in which people can travel without border controls. Cairo, Athens, Barcelona, Nairobi and many other cities of the world welcomed the new year with flashing fireworks and lights.
31st of December 2022 marked the 30th anniversary of the breakup of Czechoslovakia, one of the few cases in history when a state has been divided up without a single life being lost. Today, the Czech Republic and Slovakia enjoy a harmonious, friction-free friendship tinged with a touch of regret for what once was a happy marriage. The dissolution of Czechoslovakia took effect on December 31st, 1992. It was the self-determined split of the Federal Republic of Czechoslovakia into the independent countries of Czech Republic and Slovakia. Both mirrored the Czech Socialist Republic and Slovak Socialist Republic, which had been created in 1969 as the constituent state of the Czechoslovak Socialist Republic until the end of 1989. It is sometimes known as the Velvet Divorce, a reference to the bloodless Velvet Revolution of 1989, which had led to the end of the rule of Communist Party of Czechoslovakia. External Affairs Minister Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar held talks with Bulgaria's President Rumen Georgiev Radiev in Vienna on Sunday. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar informed that they discussed strengthening of cooperation in the context of Make in India, nearshoring and building resilient supply chains between the two countries. Earlier, Dr. Jaishankar also held his first diplomatic engagement of the year with Austrian Foreign Minister Alexander Schallenberg. The minister thanked his Austrian counterpart for inviting them to join the traditional New Year's concert in Vienna. This is the first ever EAM level visit from India to Austria in the last 27 years. This is All India Radio giving you the world news.
Welcome back. You're listening to the World News on All India Radio. India and Pakistan also exchanged a list of nuclear installations and facilities covered under the agreement on the prohibition of attack under nuclear installations and facilities between the two countries. External Affairs Ministry said the exchange took place through diplomatic channels simultaneously at New Delhi and Islamabad. The agreement provides that India and Pakistan will inform each other about the nuclear installations and facilities on the 1st of January every year. This is the 32nd consecutive exchange of such lists between the two countries. Hong Kong is working to resume quarantine-free travel with China as early as January the 8th. The return of Chinese visitors would be a major boost to Hong Kong's battered economy. China had kept its borders all but shut for 3 years, and Hong Kong itself had maintained some of the world's strictest curbs until the second half of the last year. The frequency of sea, land and air transport will be increased to meet commuting demand, and some checkpoints that had been closed while resuming operations.
Air travellers from China to Canada must test negative for COVID-19 no more than 2 days before departure. Canada has joined other nations that have implemented such restrictions. New requirements will be effective from Thursday. It will apply to all travellers aged 2 and older on Canadian-bound flights originating from China, Hong Kong or Macau. The temporary measure will be in place for 30 days and be reassessed as more data becomes available, the Canadian government said on Saturday. South Korea, Spain and France on Friday joined a growing list of countries, including the US, Britain and India, that have imposed COVID tests for travellers from China. More than 500 literary personalities across the globe, including Nobel Prize winner Abdul Razak Gurna, will be taking part in the 10th edition of Dhaka Litfest DLF, to be held in Dhaka between Jan 5 to 8. The 4-day event will feature a galaxy of internationally acclaimed authors, including Amitav Ghosh, Hanif Qureshi, Alexander Pringle, Gitanjali Sri, Daisy Rockwell, Esther Freud, Joy Goswami and Kaisar Haq, among others.
India and Pakistan today exchanged the lists of civilian prisoners and fishermen in their custody under the provisions of the 2008 Agreement on Consular Access. Such lists are exchanged every year on the 1st of January and the 1st of July. External Affairs Ministry said India shared lists of 339 Pakistani civilian prisoners and 95 Pakistani fishermen currently in Indian custody. Similarly, Pakistan has shared lists of 51 civilian prisoners and 654 fishermen in its custody who are Indians or are believed to be Indians. Morocco will impose a ban on people arriving from China, whatever their nationality, from January the 3rd to avert any new wave of coronavirus infections, the Moroccan Foreign Ministry said. Thousands of tourists visit Morocco from China every year, usually travelling on flights routed via the Gulf.
Myanmar's military has extended its ceasefire agreement with ethnic armed groups until the end of 2023. According to a statement released by the Office of the Commander-in-Chief of Defence Services, the military has extended the ceasefire agreement with ethnic armed groups 21 times from December 2018 till December 2022. Prime Minister of Nepal, Pushpa Kamal Dahal, inaugurated the Pokhara Regional International Airport amidst a grand ceremony in Pokhara on Sunday. On the occasion, the Prime Minister unveiled a plaque marking the official inauguration of the airport. Air travellers from China to Canada must test negative for COVID-19 no more than 2 days before departure. In tennis, India's Ramkumar Ramanathan defeated Mattia Balucci to advance to the singles main draw of the 5th Tata Open Maharashtra at Balewadi Stadium in Pune on Sunday. Ramanathan put a spectacular performance in the final round of qualifiers to defeat the number 3 seed Italian 6-3, 7-5. Ramanathan will be the 4th Indian to compete in the singles main draw of South Asia's only ATP 250 event. The other 3 Indians in the main draw are Mukund Sasikumar, Sumit Nagal and Manas Dhamne. Meanwhile, in another qualifying match, Yuki Bhambri's challenge ended with 1-6, 4-6 loss to last year's semi-finalist Elias Ymer. The 2 other players to advance to the main event are Maximilian Matera and Flavio Cobolli.
In Pakistan, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan (TTP) has announced its government with a full cabinet. Directly challenging Pakistan's sovereignty, TTP announced its new appointments, dividing the outfit into various ministries such as Defence, Judiciary, Information, Political Affairs, Economic Affairs, Education, a fatwa issuing authority, Intelligence and a Department for Construction. Before we end, a quick look at the headlines once again. Indian Prime Minister and President extend New Year greetings to the nation, wishing everyone a blessed and wonderful year ahead. India mandates RT-PCR test for travellers from China and 5 other countries from Sunday. India to host first G20 meeting of the year from the 9th to 11th of January in Kolkata. The United Nations General Assembly looks ahead for the International Court of Justice's opinion on Israel and Palestine issue. Luis Inácio Lula da Silva sworn in as Brazil's next Prime Minister. Climate activist Marina Silva to head the Environment and Climate Ministry. Croatia becomes the 27th nation to switch to Schengen zone and the 20th member of Eurozone. Hong Kong to resume quarantine-free travels to China from January the 8th this year to bolster tourism finance. And South American nations Venezuela and Colombia reopen cross-border movements from the 1st of Jan 2023. And now before we end, let us listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan, Vaishnav Jan, by artists from Sudan. And with that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.